There's a chaos happening inside. It's not just happening outside. Because chaos doesn't happen through consciousness. It's how we use consciousness. So it's important for us to look at what our mind is saying to us. What is our belief?
Welcome everybody to Spirituality. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kat. I'm a longtime astral traveler and spirit consultant. If you're returning, thank you so much. Love you so much. I am joined today by Radavie, who is an author, a messenger, and an inner peace guide. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me today.
I love being here with you, Pat. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's no problem. The last time we talked, you were telling me you were so passionate about helping people remember who they really are. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
I was very introspective, and I still am. And I wondered, why am I here? And it's like, Kat, a resounding spaciousness, consciousness that it goes into, because there's nobody to ask, why am I here? Why was I born? And it took me a long time of having gone through and unraveling the experiences that I had of being a wounded child to remember that we're all here to remember. It wasn't just me, on behalf of everyone, is to remember and live as what you are. So that was what took me into being the author, a messenger, and an inner peace guide.
It's saying something that so many people from different cultures, different time frames, different, it doesn't matter, coming into this world as a human, we all kind of have that little hole inside that feels like it needs to be filled with something, that wondering, what are we here for, what am I doing with this, the need for purpose, or that questioning. And for most people, we rely on our culture or our socializations, our parents, to sort of give us that answer. And to your point, when that sort of falls flat or it doesn't resonate, there's really nowhere else to look but within.
And I think I came in with that kind of beingness, personality, because I still am that way. I'm very introspective.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see the crazies going on out in the world, my own beingness is what holds that space for me. And that's why I have this deep desire for people to live in inner peace. There's
Mm-hmm.
a chaos happening inside. It's not just happening outside. Because chaos doesn't happen through consciousness. It's how we use consciousness. When we are unhappy, when we are struggling because of the programs and the conditioning, like what I went through, and hold it or hold it within, we can't help but express ourselves in this unhappy way. And that's what creates chaos. And I am so grateful that I have come to understand through my own painful experiences the difficulty, the difference between living a chaotic life or unhappy life and one of peace. And for many years, Kat, I've really helped people to heal their wounded inner child for years. I worked with thousands of people. And today, even today, when we want to live in inner peace, it's important to let's change the foundation. The foundation is about conditioning and program. And I have to follow what everybody's doing. I need to do all that. I need to make sure that my human self is well established and being seen and looked at with admiration.
Yeah, in fact, I had the thought earlier when you were talking that I think some of that chaos is kind of produced by trying to fill that inner purpose or trying to find that inner purpose with exterior things. So
Yes.
whether that's, being seen or being acknowledged, feeling valuable, feeling valid, other people liking what you're doing or acknowledging you as successful or accumulating items,
Yeah.
things, whatever that
Yeah.
is, people, the chaos kind of comes when the fighting over resources and success happens because we're trying to fill that purpose or that inner sense of validity with the exterior world sometimes.
Yes. I had a client. She was the only child, and her mother got pregnant. And I had a vision. I saw her mother walking down the stairs, and maybe she was probably about 6, looking up at her mom. And it came to her, knowing that there's going to be another child in the house. And she felt that she was going to lose the love or the attention. It's a defining moment for her where she created her own story. Her own thoughts became her reality. I have to find love somewhere else. Because the most important thing that we in this world need is to recall and to live from that sense of love and to know that there's love out there for us. It's the most important thing. It doesn't matter how successful we are in other things in our lives. So what happened to her, she became a very promiscuous young woman. She was still looking for love. But she created that reality of belief that there's no love there because another child is going to replace her. So it's important for us to look at what our mind is saying to us. What is our belief? Really important.
Absolutely. The mental algorithm of thoughts that come up to you in the stories that we tell ourselves shape how we view and perceive everything else and the energies that are drawn to us, so the actions and things we draw out of other people, even though we don't realize we're doing it. So I was kind of contemplating this thought process of love, right? And to your point, many people coming into the world, they may not have that experience growing up. A parent may not be very loving. Family situations are all kinds of different ways. If the human experience, if we have no example of what love feels like or what it should be, how do we know how to cultivate those thoughts? How do you shape loving thoughts and a loving attitude if we come from a situation where there's no example to follow?
One of the things, and I know it could be difficult for one to say, I'm going to do this because I am so unhappy about love. I don't understand love, and I don't feel it, and I don't know where to go get it. So a couple of things happen. We get caught into the wrong trap. Commonly, everyone is looking for someone else to love them more than they know what love is. I don't know what love is. I heard so many of my clients tell me the same thing.
It's why I asked kind of is like I hear the same thing from a lot of people is like
Yes,
I'm not even sure what love is or what it's supposed to be.
I will. So consider then, there are people out in the world looking for love, but they don't know it consciously. So the bottom line of that is a sense of need. And that is one of the most important things I tell my clients. Be careful or be aware that you're not doing something because you have a need. Do something because your heart feels right about it. So what does that mean? You need to go back in here and find the true nature of your spirit. When we look at a newborn baby or babies, just consider they're young, they're beautiful, they look so innocent. We look in their eyes and in their face. Something happens to us. Something happens in our heart, and we know that. That is a beautiful memory of a reflection of what we really are. That's what's covered over with the conditioning and the programs. They're covered over the essence of our love. That's the true nature of our spirit. So, coming back again with love, there's so many different layers of love. You know, we love our husband or our partner, we love our children, but yet we have a different flavor to each one of them. The true love doesn't need someone to love you. The true love is to recognize the essence of our being. We can't fully experience love without compassion.
People do get maybe the wrong idea about what love is or should be from I don't know, watching, Disney movies or Hallmark movies, and so we kind of end up with this impression that love is something someone makes you feel. And I think that you're hitting closer to the real vibration of what love, which is something more like just pure joy or appreciation. Like when you look at a little baby, it's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's just pure joy and appreciation. You don't really expect the baby to do anything for you.
And the more we stop searching on the outside, because searching on the outside, it's about mental concepts. It comes from the mind. We have to change the foundation. And that is what I've done many, many, many years with clients. What is that foundation? The foundation of unhappiness, of lack, of memories that still imprinted in the body. Even when we begin to understand about a higher frequency, it's about living in the heart space, because when we're growing up and we find that we are living in an unhappy environment, but for many reasons, there are two places we come from. Either we stay as an innocent little child that we see and we grow up in that state of innocence, but we don't do that. Or the mind. And a lot of intelligent, intellectual people I've seen are escaped to the mind. And it has its value in the outer world, but it really doesn't have the value to remember the essence of our being. So we have to stop becoming aware. I am not that person who has a strong belief looking for something outside and it escapes me, or it comes in a relationship and then it disappears and I'm heartbroken. It comes from inside. And so coming back to the heart space is where we're going to find the essence of love. Compassion. And that's where inner peace lies.
How do you work with people on having self-compassion? In your view, like what would the vibration of pure compassion look like? Like what would that feel like?
Okay. That's good question. Self-love, I call that self-love, is the most important thing we can offer the world. Because everything that comes through us to other people is going to come without any judgment. So what is self-love? Self-love to me is when you are in integrity to whatever you say outside, or whatever you say you're going to do, you stick to it, unless there's something that came up and you make it clear without any, oh my God, I shouldn't have said yes when I know deep down I meant no. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Oh my God, I'm doing this. Oh my God, I need to get a facelift. Oh my God, I'm too fat. I need to lose weight. There is a clarity about that. Yes, I'm getting older. We all are getting older. But how do we accept it? Do I judge my body that is created in time and space? You're created in time, and in time these things change. We feel a connection here from our heart, because it's not about the looks outside that we are judging. We're looking from the compassion inside for us, and we see in our eyes and we feel something other than the lines in the face. Say, I've been there. So in my book, Awaken to Inner Peace in the Midst of Chaos, actually, when we are unhappy or in dismay, there's a chaos going on in here too. So we relate to the chaos on the outer world. In this book, there are messages from the essence of our being. That was my soul's agreement, to have these messages come through me for the collective essence of our being. And that's why I call myself a messenger. I have a message, and it touches me deeply. This is one of the messages. Mm-hmm. And they told me that they were divine sparks. So we are sparks from the one flame of the divine. All of us. Every one of us. It doesn't matter what we do, whether we are homeless or we are, well known and seen and successful. It says, we never meant to drive the adults to any destructive behaviors, but their wounding memories were trapped around us. They continued to live from the effects of those memories, while we were anchored in what is called childhood conditioning. They too will value their transformation when we are joined again, as you did, as I did.
I think there's value in that journey for people.
Yes.
I think there's value in the experience of being here. Some of the things we go through in life, even when they are hard and they create that wounding, I think part of the growth, the expansion, the journey of being here is to experience those things and rediscover the connection, because the appreciation of that connection, the appreciation of who and what we really are on the inside, and rediscovering that unconditional love in place of non-judgment the relief feels so much sweeter. The appreciation is sweeter when we have something to compare it to. Does it make sense?
Lots of sense. I often say we're here to learn, grow, and evolve. Source, or the divine, or God, whichever word one wants to use, can't experience itself from the pure nature of just pure essence of love, because it doesn't know anything else. So we are the sparks from that one flame of that divine, to experience life in the way in which each and every one of us do. But don't ever forget that we are a spark of the divine. And that's what this book is saying.
Thinking about it that way is a helpful step to coming to a place of non-judgment. Because if all of us are source energy, if we're all God experiencing and growing and having interactions with self, then there isn't really a wrong way to human.
I agree. And the more compassion that we send out there in the chaos, there is more positive energy goes out there, because we're on a sacred journey. But most of us look at it as, why am I here? Why did I come to have all of this unhappiness? And to recognize there's another side of the coin that we haven't looked at. My book talks everything about the human condition, because I've gone through it. I experience it. I understand with such compassion that when there's chaos out there, there's a love that is lost and forgotten. So am I going to join the group by saying things? No, what am I going to do? I'm going to send compassion out. I'm going to send light out there because we're all from the one flame. And I really want people to remember that because we are going through a very trying time. But right now, we're being covered with a lot of shifts, a lot of change, a lot of chaos, a lot of misunderstanding. What is it saying to me on the internal?
Mm-hmm.
Am I feeling it inside? Because that's what we really want to do now. We want to go home here.
Mm-hmm.
We want to go home here. Whichever way it happens with each one of us, because I know with you, Kat, it happened in your own unique way.
I do feel like those shifts and changes happen, like things happen for a reason. There's a way to look at things, to your point, with compassion rather than judgment, and use it as an opportunity to take a look internally. Actual change starts within with yourself. So I think having the focus on everyone else and everything else going on is only going to cause more confusion.
When the book was published earlier this year, something happened inside of me, unknown, because I started to feel I'm integrated with this book, and I never expected that. My guides told me that it's not about me, it's about humankind, because I was told I'm here to break the code of the human conditioning. But time goes by and I recognize that I didn't have to mentally, intellectually do it. The messages that I got was the code to break one away from the human conditioning into remembering what you are, because your internal self is reminding you and speaking to you. There's a freedom exploration that is on my website, like 12 of them, 12 different ones, to hold you into that neutral state and listen from that space in here, to remind you of what you really are. And I'm not trying to sell the book. I'm speaking as a messenger of the book. And I'm touched. And I say it like a little cute little thing. I said, I want people to come home to Jesus. And I say that in a very way, because Christ consciousness is very important to me. So if that's what I'm here to do, I want to open up to make it really clear.
Yeah, I think ultimately, I mean, we have in these physical forms the amount of time we have here on Earth, and all paths are leading back to that oneness with source energy, or God if you prefer, at some point. So it's the journey that we take to get there that provides the experience and the value and the lessons and what contributions we can make in that time.
It's beautiful. And what makes it so divinely precious to me is when we meet someone else and they reflect from their own mission, their own soul's agreement, but they're holding that same frequency. It is so special to me, very intimate. This is just one journey home. This lifetime is only one part of the journey home. And God, we have so many in our Akashic records. We are fully complete, and there are so many experiences that we have gone through. And we look at ourselves here and said, I've evolved into what? Self-service or to serve others? To feel the connection with everyone else, I don't have to take them home, but I can expand my heart and reach out.
Yeah. Because in many ways, or in the highest sense of it, everything that they're experiencing and every part of their path and their journey is another part of your path and journey. It's another part of the whole journey, the complete picture. So
Absolutely.
everything that they're doing and going through is just as beautiful and valid as anything that you're doing. And in their own way, they're building that experience and adding those lessons to the Akashic record, to the complete expansion and knowledge of consciousness as a whole. So there's no part of that that's invalid.
On this sacred journey, we just leave little pieces of love everywhere we go, because we commonly are not returning to the same place we were before. Pockets of love as we continue, because it comes down to the oneness, completion, and want that completion to be a place of offering love every time on the path.
Absolutely.
To oneness.
And I think it's so important, and I'm so appreciative of people like yourself who do the work to write a book, to put it out there, to put information out, who join me on the show to talk about it and put those messages out. Every person who can share that information, you never know who clicks on it, you never know who watches it, you never know who needed to hear it today. That's that pocket of love. Like we make one right now making this episode, and you make a big pocket of love as you make that book and put it out there, and you never know who's going to pick it up right when they need it. You never know who's going to click on the video right when you need to watch it. It's such a beautiful way that the universe or source energy orchestrates exactly those pockets of love, those pockets of knowledge, exactly where they are, where they need to be. Speaking of which, can you let people know really fast where they can where can they find you? Where can they find your book and your website?
So there's and this, as we're speaking from this place of our heart, it goes out into the ethers. I really believe that, because we're not talking from a sense of need, we're talking from a sense of service.
Absolutely.
From our own personal experiences. Not what I got, this is my degree, and nothing is wrong with that, because people need to learn about those things too. We're talking about the heart. And so my book, and I also have an audio, and they're on Spotify and some different places. My husband takes care of that, but it's also on Amazon. And the book on Amazon is my name, Radavie, and Awaken to Inner Peace. As soon as you see that, the book comes up. My website is, again, radavie.net, simple. And I offer two things there. One is one of the freedom exploration. It's like a meditation. So you can just be in the heart space and listen instead of reading. And then the other one, I'm offering a 20-minute chat. Come chat. You want to know more, or you want to know more about my service other than from the book. That's where it all is.
Excellent. Well, I certainly appreciate your service. I will link that stuff in the description so that people can follow the links and check it out. Go check out Radavie, check out the book. We'll link that up for you, and take a look at the website and see if you might be interested in having a chat. I appreciate you so much being here. I appreciate the work that you do, and I appreciate the services that you provide out into the collective. The work is so meaningful and so matterful, especially at this time. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it was really very special having this meaningful conversation with you. And it wasn't just for us, for people, but to know that we're delivering something from our heart. Because we're all on the same, we're all oneness of the sparks of the divine.
Absolutely. And I think when something is genuine and from the heart, it really shows it resonates for people. And thank you guys all so much for being here, for listening in, for participating. We appreciate you so much. And we will see you guys next time on Spirituality.